Hey there, guys. Welcome back to Let's Play 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors with your host, Dameol, SC. We have seen this elevator before. Yes, we have. We've gotten to one of the endings of the game, so let's get into it.
We got off the one on the left just a little while ago.
And there were strong iron bars blocking our way, but now we can get around them because we are amazing.
Then we went through the number 6 door, and that took us to the engine room.
Yes, and after that we passed through the cargo room.
Have we not found the map yet in this playthrough?
And now we're back here.
In other words, we made a loop. We're back where we started.
But on the other end of the bars, right?
We needed a card to get to this point.
I don't see a card reader here.
Perhaps we aren't able to activate it from this location.
Why don't you just try pushing the button?
Yeah.
Santa always being like, okay, dumbass. Stop overthinking things.
It works.
I think so.
Good. Now we can go back if we need to.
Aren't we, again, just on the other side of the bars? I don't know why people are not acknowledging the fact that we now have access to an area of the ship we didn't have access to before. Although it's also possible that I'm not understanding the layout correctly. Because the other elevator is the one on the other side of those bars right there, right?
What do we do? Should we return to C deck?
I think we should look in the elevator and see which options this elevator has. Because it's very possible that some of the ones that were blacked out before are accessible from this one.
No, this hallway keeps going. Even if we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first.
That also, again, thank you, Junpei, for finally saying what I've been thinking. Like, we have access to new areas,
I
dumbos.
agree. Let's go. Looks like it ends here.
How did you get on an adventure? God damn it. Santa, he'd been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped.
Only one door.
And there's no number on it. Search around just in case.
There isn't anything else. It's the only way to go.
It was the door or nothing. Or the elevator. Don't discount the elevator. We could totally go to the elevator. I don't know why we want to, but don't act like we don't have a choice, because we totally have a choice.
All right, let's open it.
Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, and then grabbed the doorknob, pulling the door open. He paused for a moment, but then he stepped through into the room. And there he saw the number that hung over their heads since they'd woken up. So this is, okay, because in the other one they said they'd found the 9th door, but we never actually got to it because Clover went crazy. In this playthrough, where I actually, ironically enough, when I follow Junpei's instinct and go with the number he actually picked for himself, we actually find the 9th door.
The 9 door.
The numbers on every other door. This one, too, was a rough shape made of red paint. It was set in the back wall of the room. Junpei leapt forward with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. It was a large double door, heavy, and full of solemn importance. Interestingly, the red is actually on the wall facing the door. Usually it's facing the room. Junpei, you dumbass, you know that's not going to work.
Of course it wouldn't be that easy.
Yeah, you've been through like 5 of these doors so far. You know how this works. Okay, 3. A red set on the wall next to the door, displayed on it.
Huh.
Well, yeah, why would you think otherwise?
We finally found it.
Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last, they'd found the exit, but a cold gripped his heart, and he knew all too well why. He stood frozen, unsure of what to think or feel.
Jumpy!
Huh?
Look! Behind you!
He spun around, and couldn't believe what he saw.
What? A 9 door.
So that's how you can actually get everyone through, because you could easily split the people into 2 groups of 4 and 5. Granted, there's some of us dead now, but...
There's another one. Why?
Junpei's voice was barely audible, even to himself. He stumbled toward the second door, as if somehow compelled. It was a small, single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room, same wall as the door they'd entered from, but in the opposite corner.
It's 9, no matter how you look at it.
I mean, if you like stand on your head, it's 6.
The red is there too. So this is a real one?
Well, we knew that there had to be a way to not leave people on the ship. Or we suspected. The whole point of the game was to... Actually, I actually don't know what the point of the game is, but... Junpei shook the door pointlessly and muttered to himself.
Why the hell are there 2 doors?
Why are you upset by it? Like, this is really good news, actually. It was Santa who answered.
There were always 2 doors. I mean, if you think about it. Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
He said stick the door with a 9 on it, not, you know... And again, the game doesn't really work if you have to sacrifice people.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Of course, we just assumed that there was only one. After all, why would there be more than one?
Oh, man.
So yeah, all of our just deliberations and consternations about who was going to get through and what we can do.
We fell for it. There are 2 doors. That means that all 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape. No one would be left behind. Now it makes sense why the bracelets are numbers. 1 through 9.
So how would you actually do that then? Because the problem is, you know, you can easily pair off in multiples of 9, 1 through 4 and 6 through 9, but then 5 is left out. So you'd end up having to, like... Sorry, I'm trying to do math and it's hard. 1, 2, 4, and 9, then the others maybe?
Divided into teams of 4 and 5 people. The digital root of both teams ends up being 9. Take 1, 2, 7, 8 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 for example. The digital root for both teams would be 9.
And we can stick with June.
Or 2, 3, 4, 9 and 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. The digital root is still 9.
And we get to be with June.
There are a bunch of combinations that work and they all end up the same way. If one team has the digital root of 9, so would the other one. What does that mean? The answer's simple. From the very beginning, the Nonary game was designed to save all 9 people. That's how it was meant to be.
And that's very interesting. That puts an entire different spin on Zero's game and what Zero's trying to accomplish.
Zero didn't lie. He never said there'd be only one 9 door.
And not to mention, actually, we've somewhat properly fucked ourselves by losing... Actually, losing the 9th man doesn't affect us at all because he doesn't actually affect anything. Like, you know, he just moves it up by 9 and you end up, you know, if you have a digital of 18, he moves to 27 and that's still 9. But losing Snake is going to potentially mess things up a lot.
But anyone who'd found themselves in the game would have assumed that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other.
It almost reminds me of what ended up happening with the 2 ships in the second Batman movie, Batman The Dark Knight, not Rises, the one before that. Regardless, and it ended up a big question of can we kill other people just to save ourselves? But in this case, it's even more twisted because you get to this point and you find out no matter what people have done, you didn't have to do anything. If you just played the game the way it was written, everyone would be fine.
Someone might be hurt. Someone might get killed. But eventually, they'd reach this very same room and realize how pointless all their infighting was.
This is like when you have to go to a corporate retreat in order to learn about team building.
There were 2 doors. There was no need to kill each other.
They'd understand, be overwhelmed with the guilt of what they'd done.
This game was designed for that purpose. This Nonary game. We were all arguing and fighting over doors at the beginning. But if there had been one slip-up, one tiny mistake that led to more, everything could have been so much worse.
What do you mean if? Snake is dead, dude! Thought it was gonna chill down his spine.
So, what are we going to do, Junpei?
A voice broke through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice.
Oh, right.
Hey, keep it together, man.
Sorry!
Sorry.
Jeez. So what do we do?
What do you...
We need to think about our next step.
Because, yeah, without Snake, everything kind of breaks down.
Our numbers are 1, 3, 5, and 6. That's a digital root of 6.
The 4 of us can't open the number 9 door.
That is correct. I was actually thinking about that earlier.
The 4. Wait. Don't tell me.
Yep. There's one combination that'll let 3 of us open the 9 door. That's why I'm asking, what now?
Well, can't we just get everyone else and go through both doors?
What now?
And what combination? 1, 3, 5, and 6. Because you'd need 9 or 18, right? 1, 3, 5 would do it. Okay, that's what he's talking about. But that would involve leaving June behind. Took no time at all to determine the answer. There's only one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9. 1, 3 plus 5. That would mean...
No, we gotta go back.
That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed.
I agree. We cannot leave June behind.
Junpei let out a breath and he hadn't realized he'd been holding.
Are you sure? I don't mind staying.
June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were wet with the beatings of tears, and her legs shook. I've also got to wonder, though, again, and if I were doing this myself, I might stop and actually do all the numbers, but is there a combination without Snake that lets everyone through? I'm not positive there is.
It's okay. There's no way we'd leave you behind.
Though, again, that assumes we don't have Snake's bracelet, and I kind of think Ace does. The other endings have shown us that we can walk around with other bracelets and use them to affect the numbers. So we can possibly still get through or go back and get it because no one's thought of that up until now. Sensei what Junpei had known the moment he realized which 3 people go through the door.
Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean than escape with this sausage fest.
God damn it,
Maybe I'll
Junpei.
get to go to Atlanta.
Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis?
I mean, both of them.
Huh? Oh, right.
Okay, it's not that funny, Junpei. I'm an idiot! Perhaps it was the sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind. Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. Santa and Ace just smiled, looking at him awkwardly.
You guys.
June blinked the tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say.
Very well. Best we head back to C-Deck then. We should be able to take the elevator we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover, 7, and Lotus will have returned from door 1.
Even as they knew that finding the others wouldn't improve the situation.
But even with all 7 of us...
Actually, you know what? I don't know that Ace has snakes. He might just have 9s. Ace knew it. They all knew it.
Standing around here isn't going to accomplish anything, don't you agree? Let's find the other 3 first, and then search for another solution.
I guess you're right.
All right, let's go.
Ace looked at 3 of them and turned headed through the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go! Santa and June followed. Junpei stared to the door and stopped.
Come to think of it, what is this room?
It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly looks like a dining room or
We
something.
were so focused on the doors, we didn't even look around.
Is it a chapel? Red carpet between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony. But what kind?
Facing the 9 door was a carpet leading to the bow of the ship. And at the end... That looks like a coffin to me, and there's a digital pad on it. There's a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet. Inside the alcove was a raised platform. Top of the platform was a coffin.
Oh, a coffin? What on earth is a coffin doing in a place like this?
Holding a dead guy? Fortunately, we had time to answer that question.
Hey, Junpei, the hell are you doing? Let's move.
Santa's voice echoed from the hall outside.
Right, okay. I'll be right there.
Jimmy turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. That's super weird. I'm not sure what to think about that. the corpse is alive? Is Zero in there? Well, I mean, again, that assumes Zero's not one of us, which the sub-endings seem to imply. There's the elevator up to C deck. Once there, head back towards the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them very long.
7 and Lotus.
Then where is Clover?
We've got a problem.
Is Clover going crazy in this ending too?
Clover is gone.
Gone being crazy?
What?
Jimmy's three companions looked at one another. They turned back to Seven and
What do
Lotus.
you mean, gone?
Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to
When?
ask.
Why?
How?
You two went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you?
Seven and Lotus responded best they could.
Yeah, we went through the door together.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
Wouldn't let you in? Dude, you're bigger than her. Just move her.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
And shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
But
It was empty.
Okay, I've been through that door, and I don't know what 4th room they're talking about. Can it possibly lead to the coffin? That wouldn't make any sense, though. Like, they're on completely different levels.
Clover wasn't there.
There was a door on the other wall.
And it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
Well, obviously we didn't find her. You figured that much out.
Okay, so she's...
Clover's gone.
Junpei thought for a moment.
When did this happen?
We got here just before you.
You certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, we haven't.
We really don't have time for this, and Clover's crazy anyway. Based on the other ending, I say we just make 9s out of us and leave Clover behind, because that girl's crazy. As a resolving
Very
concern.
well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Yeah.
A quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Okay, yeah, that is true. Jimmy and June went to the large hospital room together. As quick as they could, they searched around under the beds and corners.
She's not here.
No, she isn't.
Like, searching an entire ship for a crazy girl that goes wandering off is not my idea of a good Saturday.
Alright, just in case, we should go take a look in the shower room.
Shower room?
That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him.
June bit her lip, but she knew as Junpei did that there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant. Or a pheasant.
Well, we might as well check, right?
I mean, that does make sense, unfortunately. She got herself between the door and the frame.
Good. We can still get in.
We should thank Seven later.
Yeah, for letting us see a corpse.
No luck.
Well, I don't know, it seems cleaner now.
Yeah, I don't think she's here.
June's voice was faint. She placed her hands over her mouth.
The smell is horrible.
The stench in the room was almost unbearable. It had grown far more unpleasant since the last visit, and Junpei, if Junpei ate lunch, he would have difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure. And the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider.
Let's check the back, just to be sure.
Stopped at the corner and turned his
No,
head.
she's not here.
As expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. And on the other side of the divider was a dead body, lying in a reddish-brown puddle of dry... You just want to find out that the 2 bracelet is gone? Wait, no. The 2 bracelet was actually shattered, wasn't it? Never mind.
Just where did your sister go?
Junpei whispered what was once Snake. He asked rhetorically, of course, and there was no way to get an answer. He gave his deep
Such
sigh.
a horrible way to go. The skull shattered, the left arm's hideously twisted.
So don't focus on it, especially with June right there.
Wait,
Bright white of the ulna was clearly visible through the remains of skin and muscle. Bright white. Ulna.
bones.
Pieces fell into place. Joey remembers something Clover had told him in the laboratory.
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm.
Interesting.
The accident hurt him really bad.
Of course. Of course. Why didn't I realize it earlier?
I definitely didn't realize it. Clover told Junpei the snake's left arm was prosthetic, but the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm. Well, it had been anyway. That meant this corpse.
Jumpy?
June's unsure voice and Junpei's suddenly strange behavior drew his attention back to her.
Sorry for making you wait.
So who is that then? Like, there's no one else that disappeared. What, did they, like, cart the ninth man's remains over here? Joey and June headed back towards the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching Clover in every corner. They reached the stairs when Seven appeared breathless and yelling.
Junpei! June! Where were you guys?
He looked pale and his face was drawn. Something terrible had happened.
Did something happen?
Seven drew a shaking breath across his face and gulped down a breath of air.
Clover is dead.
What? I mean, I know I was just saying that we should leave her behind because she's crazy, but what?
I found her in the first-class bathroom.
What? Who is killing people now, especially when we found the exit? Though granted, whoever killed her, in theory, did not know that we found the exit. And it seems almost like she killed herself, to be honest. All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was an empty, muffled expanse. And he began to hear his own breathing. She heard nothing. Well, she didn't explode. Which makes sense. I don't know how she would explode here. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. He stood there, frozen in place.
Clover.
Does she have like a band-aid on her knee? What is that?
Why? Why did this happen?
He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and put 3 fingers against her neck, but she had no pulse. I like this scene, actually. Where you zoom in on something completely inconsequential in order to focus away from what's important. No pulse, no breath. But she was still her eyes were closed peacefully. It was easy to think she was asleep. Easy, were not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced the source to her back. A gash just beneath her shoulder blade. If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. He closed his eyes, he saw Clover smile.
Clover.
That's the problem. The killer has to either be Lotus or Seven. So the question then becomes... Okay. So at the moment we had 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, but that doesn't work either. Because the question is, without 4, how do we get to 9? Seven can't do it because Snake is already gone. So 7 would be depending on, in order to get to a 9th door. Well, again, we need 3 people. So 7, we need to get to 18. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5, 6, 7 will get through a 9th door. Whereas... Yeah, 5, 6, 4, 5, 8 will do it. So it feels like Lotus... Lotus is more likely, but the other problem is both Seven and Lotus seem to be together the whole time. So for someone to kill Clover, it would have to be... Like, it can't be anyone. Everyone else has an alibi. Seven and Seven and Lotus are covering for each other, and everyone else was with us. Unless someone found her during the search and just decided to stab her. Her innocent smile. Her energy. Never see her smile again.
No way.
You could have helped her. You saw me twist into a sickening knot.
Let's get out of here, June.
Junpei lifted the limp June from the floor and carried her from the bathroom.
Are you all right?
It's a foolish question. He knew it.
Yes. I think so.
Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but the emotional scars she'd received were not likely to recede nearly as quickly. Junpei laid a hand... Where did Santa go? Wasn't he in this hallway? And they walked back to the bedroom.
You should get some rest. Here, the bed. Can you sit?
We need to go through the ninth door and get out of here, guys. Like, this is sad, but we're running out of time.
Yes.
She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. Ace, Lotus, Santa, and Seven. Thank you for clarifying, since there's 6 of us left, and without me and June, I wouldn't have known who the other 4 were. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bedroom to see Clover's corpse themselves. Bathroom.
Who was the first to find the body?
Me.
Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hand was up.
Why did you come to this room?
To look for Clover. Why else?
Yes, that's a dumb
Found
question.
her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey, guys! I found her, but it's bad. She's in the bathroom in the first-class cabin. Come quick! Or something like that. Then I went back to the bathroom. Ace, Santa, and Lotus showed up real soon after that. But I guess you two hadn't heard me or something because you didn't show. So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, I mean, you know the rest, right?
Yeah, this is not a great time to be accusing Seven of stuff. Seven's a good guy. Seven's a good bro. Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There's one more thing you needed to
Seven,
ask.
There's one more thing I'm worried about.
What?
You stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why did you do that?
Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did it so that the door wouldn't lock.
He's been doing it the whole game. Like, this is not a very logical...
So we could come back to this room? Oh. You think I did it?
Well, I don't know. That kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it?
There's absolutely no reason to think he would have the forethought to decide to randomly clear Clover now. I don't buy it.
For crying out loud.
Seven sighed, and then he shook his head.
Follow me.
There were 2 doors standing next to one another. He opened the one on the right.
A closet?
Yeah, the thing we couldn't open before.
Yeah.
Seven stepped inside. He stood in front of the shelves that filled it, just with a small box. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei.
This is the reason. This safe. We couldn't open it when we were getting through this room.
Yeah, I wonder why we didn't bring that up at the time, too.
I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. So I put the plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now?
I do have to wonder why he didn't say that in the first place, though, because that's what I thought he was doing.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He got a handle and shook it.
Figured it wouldn't open.
It was as locked as it had been when Seven found it.
Huh?
There was one change,
This
however.
is...
Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine, reddish-brown powder.
Rust.
Junpei stared at it,
If
considering.
there's rust here, that means... Has someone opened the safe?
Junpei had left the closet. Seven followed him back to the bedroom.
Huh?
It was cold and it was quiet. Nobody spoke. They sat frozen in place by shock, grief, and fatigue. The room felt tiny and oppressive. The thin smell of blood filled the room. So, someone figured out the numbers, but I don't know who and how, because I've been to all the areas of the ship, and I definitely didn't find any numbers anywhere. Junpei turned, and he headed for the living room. He needed to get out of there.
Maybe there's another clue. Anything that might lead us to discover who stabbed Clover.
As quickly as they could, they searched around under the beds and in the corners. His eyes caught on the door. The door led to the passageway of door number
Behind
5.
this door, the ninth man's body is behind there. Maybe I should have another look at it, just in case.
What, you think maybe it's somehow Snake? Quickly, he pushed open the door.
Yeah.
The smell hit him like a blow to the face.
Oh, the hell? This smell is...
His lungs contracted, unwilling to inhale such fetid air. Acid boiled up from the base of his stomach, turning what little food there was into a violent froth. It was too much for him, and he vomited. A thin stream of yellow... Oh my god, why? I don't want to read this. What are you doing, game? He wiped his mouth weakly and stared at the dead body. Chunks of torn flesh lay in an arc around the body. What remained of the intestines had slid out on the floor. A little bit of the frame was half dry, but so thick it had been taken on a texture not unlike that of an egg yolk, prepared sunny side up. On the floor next to the noticeably masked man's head with his glasses, cracks spidering across the lens. This may be where we find out about the bracelet, though. Those things near them had already dried. It's like scabs on the floor.
Wait.
That's when he noticed.
It's gone. His bracelet. It's gone. It was right next to the glasses.
Yeah, that's... Because I remember they specifically talked about how it was there last time. The number 9 bracelet was gone.
But why?
Had someone taken it? He's trying it over and over in his mind when he heard Seven's voice.
Huh? Where'd Junpei go?
He drifted out from the living room. Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway.
Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway?
Seven looked up as Junpei entered the room.
Yeah.
Did you find something?
I found a lack of something, which is nearly the same thing. He thought for a moment before he responded.
No, nothing.
Technically, it wasn't a lie. He hadn't found anything. In fact, that was the problem. Something he expected to find hadn't been there. The ninth man's bracelet.
What's up?
Well, I wanted you to take a look at something.
That sounds evasive as
What
anything.
is it?
Seven led Junpei back to the bathroom.
Clover.
As Clover's corpse came into view, he felt his heart flip, and then fall to the bottom of his stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his
What
lips.
was it you wanted to show me?
His voice was hollow and empty.
I searched Clover's body again. A real shame. She was stabbed once in the back, probably by a knife or something. And I found this.
He moved and knelt down and flipped open her right hand.
What?
Kitty. She was holding a piece of paper.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing.
What?
He wasn't sure what that meant, but it likely didn't matter. The paper was more important. What do you mean it likely didn't matter? You're a terrible detective, Junpei.
Opening it.
Picked it up and carefully opened it. There were 2 sentences written on it.
Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
Well, that's not very helpful.
What is this? Some kind of secret code?
Unless we're going... I mean, I'm not going to do this, but if you might be able to find something by getting the digital route using the letter system. Someone peered over Junpei's at the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace as we decode the note.
A code.
The first clue was likely the phrase "sinister hand." Left hand.
Sinister was a term used in heraldry that meant to the left of the bearer of a coat of arms.
Yes, I know that part at least.
Left hand. The left hand. What does the left hand mean?
Trying to lose his own left arm. Bracelet on his
Does
wrist.
the darkness of the Sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet?
He examined the bracelet
There's
closely.
two things sticking out on either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right and left.
Oh wow, clearly reversing them is going to lead us to the solution.
Truth is gone.
Truth is asleep in the darkness of the left hand. Does that mean looking at the underside of the bracelet?
Truth gone.
Maybe those two words. Truth gone. Gone had truth. Enog hits earth. I think it's that.
What else could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, means something that is correct, something that's fact. In other words, something that is right.
Okay.
You could then safely assume that gone means left.
Left head right, and left head right. Now right is asleep in the darkness of the left hand.
After all, after someone left, they were gone. But in this case, they clearly refer to their directional homonyms. Then truth equals right, and gone equals left.
Okay, that's very, very cunning. I would not have figured that out, but that's deep. I like it. Just look at the bracelet again.
The left and right of the bracelet. These two things sticking out. So if I...
Press them in the following order. Truth, right head left, right head left. Right, left, right, left, right, left. One after another, the 8 numbers flashed on, then off. The face of Junpei's bracelet.
Did it just...
He checked one more time to be sure. One, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Hey, what are those numbers?
Probably the combination. Either the combination for the coffin or for the safe. But we're going to find out which it is next time. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I will see you in the next one.